looks like the middle card's a monster, but otherwise it's 2 trap cards and 2 Kaimens. He starts off immediately with the Sanguine Kaimen, which in the main phase, well, in the battle phase it lets you add and special summon, but outside of that you can only add.
Yeah, well, it's turn 1 anyway, so I don't think the battle phase is too much of an issue, but it does allow him to search his deck for any Tenpai monster and begin his plays.
So Tenpai, as we've mentioned, traditionally likes to go second, just attack. Do you believe that Naibo wanted Iron opted to go first with all these trap cards?
Yeah, I certainly think, because that's definitely going to be like a very bold strategy. It's going to throw his opponents really off kilter there. They're like, oh, Tenpai make him go first. Yeah. No. Naibo is ready for such an interaction here.
Yeah, so it's the standard line Hydra adding the Sanguine summoning. Yeah, look, maybe Naibo's built his deck in a way where he can go first or second. If he loses Iron and he goes second, he can still utilize that attack strategy.
But then, like, and being able to go second, going second as well, he's still able to just, like, do normal Tenpai players, but going first, he is in a way better, like, situation than if he wouldn't have all those trap cards there.
Yep. Looks like he goes for the Heretics Seals of Heavenly Spheres and sets 2 cards in the other Kaimen that was in his hand.
Yeah, so a lot of people would laugh at a Tenpai player for just going Seals Pass, but Seals Pass with 3 back row cards, like in that spell and trap card zone there, that's actually pretty scary.
It is, and we see Floowandereeze start with Pot of Prosperity to banish 6 cards. He'll be able to reveal the top 6 cards of his deck and add 1 to his hand.
If he doesn't have Rabina, he's certainly going to have it after this goes through.
That's there's a Apex Avian Dimensional Fissure. I think that was Map Dimensional Shifter, second Dimensional Fissure. I think there was one monster didn't look like a Rabina.
I'm not even sure which one you pick. He goes for the D-Fissure though. Dimensional Fissure there. Continuous spell card. It allows your opponent to, well, both players actually, like no monster is going to be hitting the graveyard as long as that card is in play.
Yep, decks like Tenpai also just play cards like Dimensional Shifter, so they do have a way to play even with the monsters going to graveyard. Look, that looks like the spell card which lets you shuffle cards back into your deck and also tribute off your opponent's unexplored wins, is it?
Yeah, so yeah, unexplored wins. So this allows you to use any card your opponent controls for as a tribute for a tribute summon there. So with that on the board, that means Andrew's going to be able to get rid of any sort of like problem card, either it's the field spell or that Heavenly Spheres immediately before it becomes any sort of issue there.
Yep, so cards like that, Heavenly Sphere, which is a painful point of interaction, being able to return a card, face-up card to the hand.
Yeah, but the more important thing as well is if it gets tributed for anything, including its own effect, what it can do is special summon a dragon from the deck to the monster zones there, and what that'll do is that'll provide some much needed follow-up for Naibo. But yeah, Unexplored Winds getting met with a solemn judgment, really doesn't want that card to go through.
So taking a look at Floowandereeze and Unexplored Wind, it says you can conduct tribute summons that require 2 tributes by sending 1 monster you control and one card your opponent controls the graveyard instead of tributing. So it wouldn't trigger the effect of the seals, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct there. It's just sending. It doesn't actually tribute, I believe. But this does prompt the normal summon of, I believe it's Floowandereeze Eaglin there.
It certainly looks like an Eaglin, which on summon lets you add a level 5 or higher Wing Beast, or 7 or higher.
Yeah. So he either has the Rabina in hand, or this is his only play. Could be anything from a Floowandereeze player.
Naibo showing that he hasn't really played in a while. He's not too familiar with these Floowandereeze cards.
Yeah. So, as you said, he's a very good, like, thinking player as well. Like, he's meticulously reading all of Andrew's cards there, making sure he's making the optimal plays. So that Eaglin got met with a Solemn Strike, which really cuts off Andrew from everything.
Yeah, not losing that normal summon and the ability to start chaining those normal summons is really bothersome for that Floowandereeze strategy. Naibo now gets to draw and play. He wants to be able to navigate this field. He can use this the sphere to return the Dimensional Shifter to the hand, but he's going to go with the Kaimen.
Well, he can do it at any point during Andrew's turn, so he may be just like taking the time to do this all first, see what goes through.
The Heretic Seal of Heavenly Spheres once per turn. If it's in the extra monster zone, you contribute 1 monster from your hand or field and return 1 face-up card on the field to hand. And if distributed, you can special summon 1 dragon monster from your hand or deck and make its attack and defense 0. So you can still, at this point, if he wants to. He chooses not to return the Dimensional Fissure. It looks like he's prepared to play under it to be able to close out the game. He starts his turn with the Pydra.
Yep, normal summon a Pydra. Andrew's really considering this. Does he have a Solemn Strike of his own?
That looks like the Advent of Adventure? Or the trap... Dreaming Town, sorry. Advent is the quick play spell card which lets you add from your deck. The Dreaming Town on Resolution lets you normal summon a level 4 lower wing beast monster.
Yep, so this is going to allow Andrew to play on his turn. So if indeed he did have any extender in his hand, and look at that, it's a second Eaglin.
Yep. So he's going to activate both the Eaglin on the field to add a level 7 wing beast and the Eaglin that's banished to return to the hand. And Eaglin also grants you an additional normal summon.
So looking like he added the Impen there.
Yep.
And there's the Rabina.
He summons a Rabina. Now Rabina adds level 4 or lower, and then also grants that additional normal summon.
So this is where Yu-Gi-Oh players either love or really hate Floowandereeze here, because it's got the opportunity to play on both players' turn, especially with the Dreaming Town trap card.
Yep, and Dreaming Town also has another effect. So when you tribute a level 7 or higher monster while it's in the graveyard, you can banish it and then change all monsters the opponent controls to face down defense position. This is incredibly useful against decks like Tenpai, who synchro summon a lot, and you can't synchro with your face down monsters. So anytime Naibo gets like say 2 monsters on the field, you just perform a tribute summon a level 7 monster and then flip their monsters face down. Plays like that can really stop the synchro interactions.
Exactly, and being a trap card even in the graveyard as well, it means Andrew can wait for the battle phase to activate that Dreaming Town effect there. Is it main phase only? My apologies, people at home. I'm sure you're correcting me in the comments. Yep, both tributed off, and there is Floowandereeze Eaglin there. Not Eaglin, Impen.
Naibo just reading the cards again to make sure all the plays going through are valid plays.
It is very early in this round. If Naibo can get his head around like the cards like game 1 and then win game 2 and push it to game 3, he'll be in a way better position in this match.
Andrew having that Eaglin, the Impen and the Stree on the field.
Yes, that looks like Stree indeed.
So with the Sanguine Summoning, his Fire Dragon monsters are not affected by activated effects during the main phase.
That's correct.
Naibo going through his extra deck to see what he can do to get rid of this Impen, which is very good at stopping your opponent with monsters from pushing damage because they get switched. They can't activate their effects in attack position.
Yeah, they have to be in defense position to activate their effects there, so it will force Naibo to go on the defense if he wants to activate any effects and like have a chance of clearing Andrew's board.
Unfortunately, your monsters in defense position aren't going to be able to push much damage, which is what Tenpai wants to do. So
yeah, but here monsters have a very hard time attacking from defense mode. We see Chandra come down, so Naibo reads Impen another time.
Yep, so it looks like the card that Naibo discarded with the Sanguine Summoning was Iron Thunder. A relatively newer card. So when a spell or trap or monster effects activated on the field, pay half your life point, negate the activation. If you do, destroy that card, then destroy any cards in the same column that destroyed card was in that were in the monster and spell and trap zone. So it looks like Naibo is going for a very trap heavy lineup and using cards to protect them. Summon Moonlight Rose Dragon.
Okay, this will allow him to return a level 5 or higher monster on the field back to the owner's hand here.
Yep. Black Rose Moonlight Dragon, discard special summon or a level 5 or higher monster special summon to your opponent's field. Target one special summon monster your opponent controls, send that to the hand. He goes for the Sangan Kaiman.
Kaiman, is that that's his third Sangan Kaiman, isn't it?
Yeah.
Activated one, turn 1, activated 1 on Andrew's turn. Yeah, this is number 3, baby.
Yeah. So he special summons Fadra. Fadra, when summoned, can summon a Tenpai monster from the graveyard. Level 4 lower fire dragon specifically, but in this case it will be either the Chandra or the Pydra. No, but really having to think about how he's going to clear this board. He summons back the Chandra.
Chandra not going to be able to activate its effect here, but that's fine.
You can just go for the good old battle phase attack into the Stree.
Unfortunately, due to those solemn cards he's activated, he's still not up on life points despite doing the first amount of battle damage this turn.
No. He still has a quick effects of his Tenpai monsters to be able to perform a synchro summon during the battle phase. But he still has to figure out how to deal with that M-Pen.
Yeah, because M-Pen as well has got the very annoying effect on it of like being able to pay life points, I believe, and increase its attack. It's got something that...
So once per battle during damage calculation, if a battle was an opponent's monster, you can banish one card from your hand, and then the opponent's monsters that attack and defense become halved until the end of the turn.
Ah, that's it.
He's going for another level 7 synchro play. We're also starting to see the effects of the Dimensional Fissure pay its dividends with a lot of Naibo's monsters getting banished. He doesn't run too many to begin with, having a monster count of just 12. And it looks like nearly half of them are banished.
Yeah. So it's the Biden Dragon here, which revives the Empire Pydra. He's used Pydra's effect this turn already, so... Unfortunately, no search here.
He can go for the Transcendent Dragon because Transcendent Dragon prevents your opponent from using card effects in the battle phase, so you won't be able to use M-Pen's effect to reduce its attack. Looks like that's what he's going to do.
Exactly. It cost him nearly every monster in his graveyard, now being banished because of Dimensional Fissure, but yeah, Transcended. Exceedingly beautiful. And now Andrew's turn to start reading some cards here now.
Yep, so Sangan Transcendent Dragon, all monsters your opponent controls must attack. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects during the battle phase, and if it's Synchro Summon, you can change all monsters on the field to attack position. If 3 or more monster attacks have been declared during the turn, as a quick effect, it can special summon itself from the graveyard, then destroy 1 card on the field. But that can only be used once per duel. So he's able to clear off that M-Pen and the Stree without taking up all his resources. He's got no spells or traps to protect himself. Funnily enough, in his heavy trap deck, he still has the Sphere as a point of interaction though, which serves effectively as a trap effect.
And during the main phase as well, his monsters are still under the protection of the field spell. But then Andrew's activated the field spell himself. The Floowandereeze one, which allows him to search his deck and also perform a additional normal summon.
Yeah, so Floowandereeze on a Magnificent Map during the main phase, you can reveal a level 1 Floowandereeze monster, and we know he has a few, and banish 1 Floowandereeze monster with a different name from the deck, and then immediately normal summon. And also, if Naibo normal summons, Andrew also gets a normal summon. So is that the Rabina getting revealed?
I think it's reveal Rabina in hand. It's banishing the Toucan.
Rabina to be summoned?
Yep, that's the additional normal summon off the Magnificent Map.
Now he will use its effect. He likely would have used one that was banished as well.
Indeed he has. He already had the Eagle in hand, so I think he added a Robina back. He's going to go Eagle in 1, activating effective 1 in the Banish pile. Might be going for the Toucan or one of the other ones there. Maybe the Stree, maybe?
Oh, so Naibo's reading the M-Pen. Could be the M-Pen. The M-Pen doesn't add itself back.
Okay. Tributes the Heavenly Spheres.
He has to choose which card to return.
I think on resolution, I don't believe Heavenly Spheres
Yep.
targets on activation. He's got to bit carefully here, but I don't think he realizes that even if Eaglin does resolve, it's still going to allow Andrew an additional normal summon, so if he's got another small bird in hand, he can just keep going.
Oh. Kind of search his deck. He does have the Apex Avian or Rise of the Mega Monarch to choose from as a level 7 or higher winged beast. He adds the, looks like a Rise of the Mega Monarch.
Indeed he has.
Now Naibu will also activate the effect of spheres to summon a monster.
Yep, so...
And the Stree gets summoned as well.
Yep. So the Stree should have been there already when the first chain resolved.
Yep. Now that's on 3 summon Toucan will add itself back to the hand and be summoned.
Right.
Andrew in a position with 3 Floowandereeze monsters on the field, the Mega Rise in his hand.
Naibo is still protected by his field spell though, so, and then...
So I believe the field spell only works during your turn.
I believe it's either player's main phase.
Yeah, so Naibo does not have protection currently from activated effects.
Indeed. We were giving the players a bit of flack for reading all the cards, but yeah, I'd be doing the exact same if I was down on the table.
Definitely. Again, at this caliber event, you want to be sure that you're on top of every effect. So the difference between, you know, something like thinking summoning only protects on their turn or every turn is like a huge thing that you want to be sure you're on top of. See, a pot of duality show a dimension. That's a dimension shifter.
Shifter, spell.
Yeah, it's the spell.
Triple tactic thrust. We just had confirmation of.
Using the unexplored winds, he chooses to send the Sanguine Summoning and the Toucan to tribute summon Rise of the Mega Monarch.
Right. Mega Monarch here going to be able to clean up house now.
So Rise of the Mega Monarch, when it's tribute summon using a wind monster, you can target an additional card on the field and place that on top of the deck. So it's 1 card on the field and 1 card in either graveyard and also an additional card on the field. And usually when Floowandereeze get into a position where they can rise the Mega Monarch to return itself as well, they can start looping it and just lock out the game from there. But he chooses to get rid of 2 monsters. I think he's just going to start pushing for damage given that Naibo's only on 2,500 life.
Yep, so that's a really good card against Floowandereeze because Floowandereeze when they get tributed to leave the field, they need to be face up. Otherwise, they're just going to go to the graveyard and they're not going to be able to procure themselves in such a fashion that we saw Andrew take with game 1 there.
Yeah. It looks like they've drawn up. It looks like Naibo's going first again. He starts with the Sanguine Summoning. Andrew immediately has the Dimension Shifter.
You play that as quick as possible there. But he's got to discard a card. Naibo considers what he has to do.
Very shiny trap card.
Very shiny trap card indeed.
Normal summons the Hydra. he's going to add most likely a Sangan Kaiman, which he had 3 copies of last game. Very powerful.
Immediately thumps it down.
As we mentioned before, Tenpai is able to play under Dimension Shifter, but losing your monsters, especially when you run so few, is very annoying. So it takes up 2 of your monsters to be able to summon that Heavenly Spheres.
Yeah. And like those resources gone forever, you're not really gaining any of those back at all. So like maybe the play was just to leave the 2 monsters on the field, and hopefully your spell and trap cards like just carry you through to your next turn when everything is going to go to the graveyard.
This time we see 2 spell or traps that.
And adding insult to injury, we see Dimensional Fissure get activated again.
Yep, so like again in this game where there are such few resources, Dimension Fissure being able to stop all the monsters from being able to go to graveyard for recursion is really annoying. We can see here that Naibo immediately just uses the sphere to return the map to the hand and summon Hydra, adding another Kaiman.
Yep, so there's his follow-up for next turn if he manages to survive.
Andrew just immediately playing it again, setting 2 spells or traps. And passes turn. Naibo draws. 2 monsters and a Sangan Kaiman.
This could go very well or really badly for Naibo, depending on what those 2 set cards are of Andrew's.
So in normal circumstances, without knowing any other cards, Tenpai can very easily put out 8,000 damage onto the field. He starts his turn with Sangan summoning, adding the Chandratan. Now he's discarded a card.
I believe that's the Black Goat Laughs.
Black Goat Laughs is a fairly new card as well, with the very powerful graveyard effect. The on-field effect is not as good against Floowandereeze. The Black Goat Laugh, declare 1 monster card name. This turn neither player can special summon monsters with that original name. So Floowandereeze being a deck that predominantly normal summons won't be impacted by that, but due to Sangan summoning, you can discard it. And then in the graveyard, you can banish it from the graveyard, declare a monster card name, and then this turn neither player can activate effects on monsters on that field with that original name, which is very annoying.
But it doesn't matter what Andrew had there because I think a bunch of trap cards.
Yeah, it certainly looks like a fair number of them in Naibo's hand. Andrew will start with Pot of Duality.
Chaining Dimensional Fissure.
Shifter.
Somebody stop this man.
So we see a Cosmic Cyclone, a Floowandereeze monster, and a spell. We said the Cosmic Cyclone is really strong into this matchup, being able to clear one of Naibo's many trap cards as well as the Sangan summoning. So it's a very versatile card. He chooses the monster.
Could be wrong, but it looked like an Empion there. Yep, just got confirmation it is Empion as well, so hopefully he's got the little birds in hand.
He might have deduced at this point that Naibo is not playing any form of disruption in effect monsters like Ash Blossom or Effect Veiler, so he knows that if he's able to successfully normal summon, he can just proceed with summoning his field.
But we see the reason why he added the Empion to his hand. It's because he has the quick play spell there for Floowandereeze. To get an additional search as well as the search off the Eaglin as well.
So you banish a Wing Beast from your hand, you add 1 Floowandereeze monster or field spell from the deck to hand, and then you gain 500 life points. Floowandereeze and the Advent of Adventure. Now use Rabina and Eglin on the field. Adding Streak. tribute them both off to summon the Empen. So Empen on summon will be able to add that Dreaming Town. He adds the Eglin back from its own effect.
Yeah, and this is the resource loop game that Floowandereeze really wants to see itself in. Being able to just restock its hand with more small birds, as well as that all-important trap card as well to allow them to play on their opponent's turn.
And be able to disrupt them with cards like Miss Valley, Apex Avian, and the Rise of the Mega Monarch, which we saw earlier. They summons a second copy of Empen.
This does allow Andrew to replenish his hand. He added the Eagle the first time, but now he's also got the Rabina as well and the Dreaming Town. This is very strong indeed for him.
And the Unexplored wins. And Unexplored Winds lets him shuffle back any excess monsters he doesn't feel he needs to be able to draw extra cards, or just clear off problematic cards on as a tribute summon. So it looks like he opts to use the effect. So he places 2 and draws 2. There we go. So replenishing all those monster resources and be able to convert them into other potentially higher value cards is a very powerful strategy. Look, he has 3 spell or traps protecting himself.
Yeah, and I believe 2 of those cards are what he drew. I didn't see a shuffle of the hand, so he must be very confident. Slamming those down straight to the field there.
You can see that Naibo's list does not play Lightning Storm or Harpy's Feather Duster. It's going to be very challenging to be able to clear this field.
Yeah, there it is. The Harpy's Feather Storm. So
that's one of the power cards that we're talking about. Like once you've got your Floowandereeze engine going, you want to be able to get to cards like Harpy's Feather Storm. So when you control a Winged Beast, until the end of the turn negate any monster effects your opponent activates. So now Naibo is cut off from his Hydra, his Chandra. He won't be able to, Black Rose Dragon to clear the board. And this is the powerful strategy we were talking about. You get a lot of normal sums out, you search your Dreaming Town, you use Unexplored Winds to be able to turn all your resources into cards like this.
But maybe drawing all those trap cards is actually a bit of a blessing in disguise for Naibo, because he's locked off from the graveyard because of Dimensional Shifter. He can't activate monster effects, but this does allow him to just set 4, including a monster in passing.
Yeah, so we see a Dreaming Town to let him summon Rabina. And you'll trigger one of the ones in the grave, the Banish File, so the Stree. Well, that's a toucan. Rabina will add Eglin. Summon the toucan. So this is the recursion that we were talking about as well.
Token and one of the back rows.
Using the Unexplored Winds.
Second Impian on the field.
Empen's also nothing to scoff at. Empen has like 2,700 attack.
Oh yeah, it's huge.
So although he won't be able to potentially clear the game in one turn with additional summon of like an Apex Avian or which he's adding right now, he's now able to put more than 8,000 damage on the board, and it's not even his turn yet.
Exactly. And if you thought Dreaming Town was once per turn to tribute, no sir. Oh, it doesn't tribute, it sends, but here comes Apex Avian coming down.
Yeah, so Unexplored wins the effect where you can substitute the tribute with one of your opponent's cards. That's just whenever you conduct a tribute summon that requires 2 tributes. The only effect that's once per turn is the one where you convert 2 of the cards in your hand to the bottom of the deck to draw 2 cards. Now Andrew starts off his turn with 3 big monsters. One of them being a point of interaction. He activates the map.
Yeah, Naibo's carefully considering his options here. Does he want that to go through? Give him the okay here.
So that's revealing the Eglin.
Yes.
Banishing the Stree. Summon the Eglin. Like, the only target left in his deck is Rise of the Mega Monarch.
And if that Riser gets the chance to resolve it, it's definitely going to be over for Naibo.
Yeah, so he'll be able to clear one card off using the unexplored winds, and then get rid of the other two with Mega Riser. So he's carefully picking apart the spells and traps. Mega Riser in the field. There's 4 monsters with 2,700 or higher attack points.
Jerome came to the graveyard to tribute some of the Riser, and now
The Rise of the Mega Monarch, being able to put cards on top of the deck, you're able to put the trap card on top of the deck to be able to make sure Naibo draws a trap card, something that it can't immediately play.
Go. Andrew telling him what to do with that trap card. Yeah, I know Andrew personally from Christchurch Locals as well. He's been part of a training group that has been practicing for the last couple of weeks here, and it's definitely showing in his preparedness for how to tackle this matchup.
That's a Fardra.
I think Andrew's gone straight to battle phase.
Fardra says that fire dragon monsters cannot be destroyed by battle. But just with that, it might be a bit challenging to just...
Indeed, it's definitely going to hold off Andrew's attacks here.
Yes, sir. Just until a point where Andrew is able to get one of those M-Pens, or the Apex Avian can return itself to the hand, and then Andrew finds a way to tribute summon. He can use the unexplored winds to clear it off. It is a bit of a hurdle. Naibo had the Pydra previously that he couldn't summon last turn or that he could have summoned but couldn't use its effect last turn because of the Harpy's Feather Storm. And as we said, Andrew will be able to negate the effect by returning Apex Avian to hand. If he has a Dreaming Town set, he'll be able to tribute and clear off that Fardra.
Yeah, really putting Naibo in a terrible position. That Fardra is holding off everything, but at the same time, because of Apex Avian returning itself to the hand, Naibo can't activate anything, because then he's able to tribute off the Fardra.
Yeah, and we know that Naibo didn't draw a card of value because Riser was able to place one card.
Yeah, and